Hi, and thanks so much for joining me for my very first Making the Edit. This video is in collaboration with my very good friend here on YouTube, Allison Chase. If you are not already familiar with her, she is a luxury beauty channel here on YouTube. We feature, I'm going to say, probably 80% of the same kinds of products, but you get to see her applying them differently. She has a little bit different coloring than me, and she also has her own consultation business. So if you want to meet with her regarding skincare or makeup application or anything beauty related, she's available for that. And she also has a lovely series called Beauty History. She invests so much time and research into those videos, so please make sure to head over for that. She's almost at 20,000, so let's help her get there, and make sure you are subscribed if you are not already. And sometimes she does a vlog when she travels, which I really enjoy. So make sure to head over. She is beautiful, does an amazing job with her application. And I have to thank her for helping me with this video because this is the first time I'm doing this. I have seen this go by for many years. In fact, I think it was Samantha March who started this. And since then, so many content creators have done this where we talk about products that we're considering purchasing or not and why. I'm calling this one Making the Edit because this is everyday edit where I try to find the best of the best. And before I purchase makeup, it does go through a filter. So I don't purchase everything. I try to avoid as much waste as possible. It's difficult with this kind of channel, reviewing so many things, but I, again, don't pick everything up. So I'll give you my thought process behind why I select things. Usually it's new innovation, or I think the colors will work really well, but I do purchase based on the idea that I will use the product versus just swatching or reviewing. I really do want to enjoy the products I purchase. Also, a huge thanks to Weijie0315 on Instagram. She posts upcoming collections, and those are the images we'll be using today. She has given me permission to use them here on YouTube, so thank you so much to Weijie. That way you'll get to see what I'm talking about. Make sure to follow her as well on Instagram. That way you can keep up with the latest releases and also communicate with me and let me know if you would like to see these in action or reviewed. Same thing for what goes here today. If you hear that I'm going to pass on something, then let me know that you'd still like to see it, and then I can definitely reconsider, take a closer look. So really it's a buy or no buy kind of video. So if it makes the edit, I'll purchase it. If it doesn't make the edit, I'm passing on it, at least for now, until you convince me otherwise that I should be trying it out, because sometimes you have a lot more information than I do. There's so many new products coming in, it's hard to keep up. And we have some lovely products by Chanel, Dior, Chalet de Peau, Tom Ford that we've been talking about, and more. So we'll be talking about if these items make the edit or not. And make sure to head over to Allison's channel to watch her video, to subscribe. And if you joined us from Allison's channel, thank you so much for joining us. We are very happy to have you. Let's go ahead and get started. Starting with this Dior collection, it looks stunning. Now, I've purchased Dior collections, holiday collections in the past, and they're not my favorite, I have to say. I love the Dior Quince, but their holiday collections are not necessarily my favorite because I do notice they're a little bit chunkier in their reflective quality. And if you know me, you know I love a satin finish. That's probably my favorite finish, or something very close to matte with just a little bit of a glow. And if there are chunky, detectable particles, not my favorite. But these colors look really pretty. Let's talk about the palettes first. We've got 359 Cosmic Eyes. I do like that very soft, like dusty rose shade in the upper left-hand corner, as well as the color below that, because it's a muted kind of burgundy shade from what I can see here. Then you've got what looks like between a navy and a gray, maybe it's a navy. That looks beautiful. And then I also love that silvery gray tone with that white accent. So I think those would play really beautifully together. So I'm curious about these. I'm curious about the finish, as well as 589 Galactic. That is reminding me of the 747 Mediterranean palette by Chanel, which is one of my favorite palettes. So curious how that would compare, just because that upper left-hand corner has like an olivey tone, and I have on here this one today, and I was wondering, this is a Golden Bouquet by Dior, and I was wondering if that color in the upper right-hand corner, that golden one, looks kind of like the golden color in there. Really curious, but that looks pretty, like that looks really wearable. So I think the reflective quality is going to really tell me whether I'm going to pick this one up or not. So I would like some closer images of that first. And then we've got these lovely blushes. There's like a rosewood color, which usually works really well on my skin, as well as that lovely peachy tone. I would probably want to wear the two together, but again, this is going to depend on the finish. Now that embossing on both of those is gorgeous. So I think they did a really good job with making this really beautiful looking. So I think I might wait for swatches on that, but I'm very tempted by the palettes. Let me know if you want to see them. Then we have the Dior Addict Shine Lipsticks, limited gold packaging lipstick case. We have 4 shades here, and all 4 shades actually look really, really pretty. I don't feel like I need more lip products, but if you would like to see them on, let me know. Then you have Rouge Dior in 4 shades, and those shades look lovely, but nothing really unique. Maybe that one that's like a rosewood type of shade, kind of like the blush. It looks a little bit more red than that though. That looks pretty, but nothing I feel like I need to have. We've got here the Dior Addict Lip Maximizer. It says Orange Gold Shine, which looks beautiful, and I can see myself using that as a topper. Depends again on the level of shimmer though. But that one looks like it's definitely worth it. So far, nothing's totally made the edit yet. We have some nail polishes, and I haven't tried any Dior polishes. In fact, I don't even have polish on now. But I do love nail polish. I just don't buy that much because it lasts forever for me. So I don't know about the Dior polishes. You'll have to let me know. But I'm really considering the 2 palettes and I think the blushes. And now maybe the lip shines. Oh goodness. There's so much coming up though. So this is like something that's almost gonna make the edit. It's really gonna depend on the other products that we'll talk about here in a moment. So I didn't do a great job on making the edit or not because I'm kind of on the fence. I'll probably pick up the palettes though, just because I love to try them out. Then we've got the Dior Holiday 2022. This is that face palette, the Face Eyes Lips palette. I think the colors are really pretty here, but I just know I don't use face palettes the way I should. So I don't like to purchase things that I'm not going to use. Although I have to say the shades in there look very wearable. They look really pretty. I don't see myself using the lip shades though in a palette like that. It's really hard to apply in the go unless you take that with you as your clutch, but I don't do that. So I feel like that one is a pass for me. I've tried them before. I think they're pretty, but not something I use. So for that reason, I would pass. So that does not make the edit. And then you have the eye shadows. There are 5 shades in there. The first 3 aren't shades that I would really pull for. The 2 on the end, that mushroomy color, and then there's like a peach tone color in there. I would use those, but I have other things like them, so that doesn't look very exciting to me. Not that unique, not that innovative, so I would say that these 2 do not make the edit. But not to worry, there's so much more to choose from, so I'm gonna keep going. Then we have the Dior Forever Cushion Powder, the Millefiori Couture, and it's so beautiful looking. I love the embroidery on this. I think they did a lovely job with the design of it. It's very attractive. The powder itself though, I have one powder in the same format, and I don't know if it's the same formula, but the one that I have darkened my dark spots, which I did not enjoy because I need the powder to work for me to further blur discoloration. So if you're new here, I have discoloration right here on the front, and I rely on powders to help me with that. And when a powder deepens the dark spots rather than blurs, then that's something I won't use. So I passed on this. This already did not make the edit because I purchased the eyeshadow palette. This High Pigment Longwear Creamy Powder. This is in 1947 Miss Dior gradation of pink shades, the color of Miss Dior. And at first I was going to pass. This was not going to make the edit. But the more I looked at this, I thought this might be a really pretty soft color. And I like that shade in the middle because it hints at a salmony tone, at least from the image here. And then that vanilla shade up the upper left-hand corner has a lovely warmth to it. So I thought that might be really pretty. So I picked that one up. That did make the edit. So that should be going up tomorrow or the next video. So that is actually going to be delivered tomorrow. There might have been a haul that went up before this, if it came in. So look for that one. This made the edit. The Rouge Dior Millefiori Couture Edition lipstick with that lovely motif on there, the floral motif. That's gorgeous. The description was a deep rosewood. This is in 1947 Miss Dior, and anything that's rosewood shaded typically is a really good lipstick for me, or blush. So that's why I picked up this one. I picked this one up. So that made the edit. We've got a Miss Dior scented candle. This did not make that edit. I don't purchase very many candles. I forget to light them. That's part of the problem. Plus I have so much here anyway. I actually need to do some decluttering because a lot of things have piled up. But if you love candles, if you love Miss Dior, this is a lovely one. But for me, this does not make the edit. And then Dior has even more. They have a Dior Backstage 2022 Holiday Makeup Collection. There are two palettes here. There's like a reddish palette and then a greenish palette. The one on the top reminds me of the old, there's a Chanel palette that has browns and then a red in it, which was very popular, I don't know, 5 years ago or so. I still have it, I love it. But it reminds me of that, and the fact that I don't really use that one now makes me think I wouldn't use this one either. And plus it has a lot of pinks in there, which I don't love on my coloring. So for me, that's a pass. I think the lip products, the redder lip products, those look beautiful, but I don't, again, know if there's something I need or are that innovative. Now the green palette looks interesting because I don't see too many green palettes around, but I also don't usually wear green eyeshadow. I think if you love green shadows, that might be an interesting one to try. I like how they pair it with gold shades, and then it looks like there's a lip balm. I'm guessing that greenish hued product. And then you have that lip maximizer. I don't know if that's the same one as the one we saw earlier with the orange gold. So for me, these do not make the edit, but Dior's coming out with a lot. Let's talk about the SUQQU 2022 Holiday Makeup. Now we've got two palettes. We've got these little single eye products, as well as some blushes and lip colors. Now when I look at this overview of the, oh, it looks like there's a powder maybe. When I look at the overview of this particular collection, it looks kind of light and pink and muted, but then when I look at the other images, there's a picture of the eyeshadows. They look less muted here, and let's look at 120 first. I like the two neutral shades on the left-hand side. I would probably use those. Those look pretty, but then there's like a sherbet color and then a magenta almost. Those are shades I don't typically put on my eyes, but I can see this working on some people, but not for me. I probably wouldn't use these. And then you have the next palette, 121, with the yellow. It's like a peach green and like a light brown shade. Again, these are not shades that I would wear, so I personally would not pick them up. So these would not make the edit just because of the color stories here. You've got a couple of blushes, 136 and 137. And this reminds me of the older blushes they had. I think I have one or two like that where it's ombre like this. And I am interested in 137 because that reminds me of the Chalet de Peau blush that I love so much. So I would consider that, but so far nothing is jumping out at me as something I have to pick up. We've got a couple of eyeshadows here, 111 and 110. I can't tell the level of shimmer here, but it looks like there are detectable particles, at least from here, but it's really hard to tell without a swatch. That silvery shade looks lovely, but I don't wear that by itself. And 110 might be pretty, but I don't know if it's something that I feel like I'm compelled to pick up. Yeah, nothing too exciting here for me. Moving on to the lip shades, we've got 101, 124, and 125. 124 right away is out of the running because it looks too light and too bright, and I know that doesn't work on my skin tone. But 101 looks like a muted rosy tone, so consider that, or 125. Those look like they would work on medium skin tones like mine, but I also don't see anything very unusual here. So this is how much I don't buy, even though it seems like I buy a lot. So far, really, there hasn't been much that has caught my eye here. We've got a couple of Gucci lipsticks. Now I can't tell from this image, but the top one looks like it's red with particles in it, like detectable particles, which is not my thing at all. I do love the packaging though. I love that it's got that beautiful blush colored lid on there. That's pretty. And then Janet Rust looks like it might work, and Devotion looks also more on that warm side. But neither of these really speak to me as anything I have to have or anything that unique. These also do not make the edit. Let's talk about Chanel. So I'm excited about the Chanel collection because there are a lot of beautiful things here. We've got a highlighter, an eyeshadow. Not quite sure what that is yet. We'll talk about that. Some lip products, some nail products. So let's take a look. First, we've got this Eclat Lumière. It's an oversized highlighting powder, and this looks beautiful. I love the embossing with the moon and the fragrance bottle. That's stunning. I don't love highlighters though, so I feel like this shade might be really beautiful on more rich skin tones. I do like their highlighters though, so I love the Camellia highlighter, which I picked up. That's really beautiful, nice and soft glow. So I'm wondering if this is along the same lines. I'm looking at it, just the image here, but it looks like a very fine kind of highlighter, not a chunky highlighter based on the way it's reflecting the light, but I'll probably pick it up anyway. So that makes the edit, even though I'm not sure about it. Then this stunning eyeshadow palette. I love all of the shades in here. I had my colors done for me when I was younger, and all of these colors were on that palette. So kind of like that muted rosy shade in the upper left-hand corner. Then you have that beautiful, I don't even know what that color is. It's hard to describe because it's not really a copper because it doesn't have that orangey tone to it, but also has some warmth, but also some coolness. So it's like a neutral, beautiful shade, but I love the glow on that. Then you have that lovely golden shade, which is like an antique, but not totally antique gold because there's something more happening in there, at least on the image. And then you have that brown shade. It's got that CC on there as well, and the image of the fragrance bottle. So this is definitely making the edit. I'm purchasing this one. And then we have this multi-use illuminating gloss gel, illuminating brow lash and lid kit. 2 gels and 3 accessories. I have to say I don't really understand this product or how to use it, but I'll probably purchase it anyway because I haven't used anything like this and I kind of want to see, and I like innovation. Might be one of those things I just try once and then never use again. But for me, I just want to see what this is like, because sometimes it's good to try these things and then have a reference point if there are other items like this coming on the market so you can do a comparison. So that's why I would purchase that one. So that makes the edit. Then we have 2 Rouge Allure Lax, 88 Rose Mystère, and 89 Rouge Ombre. And I really enjoyed this lip formula, so those will be making the edit. I will be purchasing those. We have 2 Rouge Allure L'Extrait, 817 Rouge Selene, and 827. I will also be picking those up. I love that formula as well. I know it costs a little bit more, but I really like that one, so I will be picking those up. So those make the edit. Then we have the the nail shades. 963 Super Lune, 965 Clair de Lune, and 347 Etoile. I think that's what it is. I don't really, like I said, purchase nail colors because I don't paint my nails that often and they last forever. So again, trying not to clutter things too much. I am compelled to not pick those up. Those would not make the edit, but let me know if you do want to see either of those on. 963 looks tempting though. That looks beautiful. And I'm really curious about 965, but I don't think I'll purchase that out of just curiosity. So it looks like it has a duochrome thing going on. Really pretty looking. So for the most part, most of those products in the holiday collection are making the edit. Then we got these Tom Ford palettes, Tom Ford Soleil Neige collection. So I have not purchased any of the palettes like this in the past by Tom Ford. I have other palettes that I love, but they always looked so light. So that's why I didn't pick them up, but Apres Ski looks interesting, but it reminds me of other palettes that are out there. I don't know. Let me know about these, but right now I'm compelled to not pick them up and not make the edit. Okay, let's move on to the palette, the face palette by Tom Ford. This one looks pretty, and I know it doesn't look very exciting, but I think all of the shades would work really nicely on my coloring, which is why I would pick it up. I won't be picking it up though, just because, again, I don't use face palettes, but those all look really usable. From the eyeshadows to the cheek colors, I'm tempted by this one. I really am. If I did not have makeup, a lot of makeup, I would probably be purchasing this because it's rare to find so many shades that I would actually use in one palette. So that's the reason I would pick it up. Yeah, looking at the swatches, the finishes look beautiful as well because you have a variety there. The swatches actually are more convincing than the palette itself when I look at the swatches. I might pick this up, we'll see, but there are just too many things on the market right now, and that's the reason it would not be purchased. That's the reason I would not make the edit. We have two lip shades here, Adored, number 50, and 27, Shameless. Those also look really beautiful, but they're leaning a bit warm. If they were a little rosier, maybe I would pick them up. Face palette definitely is interesting. Then you have a cushion foundation here. I'm not quite familiar with this product. I need to learn more about it, but right now, not that interested in it because I'm not wearing that much foundation these days, and the foundations I have I really enjoy. So right now that one is not making the edit, but who knows? I might change my mind later if I learn a little bit more about this and if it's innovative. Let's move along to these Gucci blushes now. I picked one up because, again, the way these were released was kind of strange. So I picked up 4 and I did a lot of comparisons to my glowier blushes to see what the radiance was like on the finish, and it's just a hair more radiant than a matte. So all of my other glowy blushes have much more of a radiance to them than this one. So if you want matte with just a hint of radiance, this is a beautiful, beautiful blush. I'd like something a little bit more muted though, and 1, 2, and 3 are not muted. They actually look quite bright, but I would probably go for 3 if I wanted something pinkier, a little bit cooler. I was considering 5, but one of you, I think, let me know you were similar in coloring, and I think this is where I'm gonna run into a problem with number 5, is that might just look kind of gray on my skin because it doesn't have any warmth to it, even though I want it muted. And 6 looks like it's gonna be just a berry tone. So I wish there was something kind of in between 4 and 5. Let me know, but I do want to pick one up. Maybe they will have more, but for now, I still can't figure out which one I want. But there is something in this next collection that looks really interesting. So Pat McGrath has this beautiful collection coming out, and I have tried a handful of her products and I've been impressed with them. From her palettes to her blushes to eyeliners to lipsticks. Now, one of the reasons I do not pick up Pat McGrath is because there are so many other people doing reviews on them who have so much more experience with her products that I think do a wonderful job. And I feel like if I jump in, I'm not gonna have as much useful information, but let me know if you do want me to try some of the products out because I feel like most of her products are amazing. But she does these lovely eyeshadow palettes, and this one's a really large palette, and that's one of the reasons that this would not make the edit because it is so larger. Let's see. 3 times 6, 18 shades in here, and they're all levels of finishes, and you have some really beautiful shades. I think you could do something lovely with this, but for me, I don't think I would use this palette. But that green in there in the lower left-hand corner looks gorgeous. Yeah, so this does not make the edit, even though it looks really pretty. Looking at these 2 eyeshadow palettes, the top shadows don't do much for me, but it looks more like a foiled kind of finish because the one on the bottom reminds me of this palette, again, Golden Bouquet by Dior, but that one looks like it has a lot of reflective properties to it. Again, like a foiled kind of finish because I see that light bouncing off of there, and that would be the reason I wouldn't pick it up. It's a little too reflective for me. But out of the 2, I would pick the bottom one. On to blushes now. This looks like a lovely muted blush palette. So looking at not the top one, but the bottom one, the top version looks kind of bright, and I think there's a highlighter in there as well that looks a little pinker maybe than the one on the bottom looks more champagne. I like the palette on the bottom because that does have more of that muted kind of tone that I was looking for, kind of soft. So I'm tempted by that one. but I don't know if I need all of the blushes and the highlighter. I kind of want that one in the upper right-hand corner. That's the one I'm really interested in, so I don't know if I would purchase a whole palette for that. But this looks really interesting. So we've got a highlighter and a blush, and the blush looks really pretty. It looks like a soft rosy shade, soft dusty rose, but then I'm looking at the swatches and those look cooler. Like that medium skin tone, that arm in the middle, it looks kind of cool on there, but I like the way it looks on that lighter arm. So I'm not quite sure, I would have to see, but I'm really interested in that one. Let me know if you're considering that too, or if you want to see that on. But I'm looking at that blush because I know her blushes are really amazing. She also has lip shades coming out. There's a more nude colored one. It's actually called Nude Venus, and then there's a more red shade. And if I was looking for a dupe for something like Tom Ford Sable Smoke, I would be looking at that. And I actually don't really wear shades like that anymore. But the red looks really pretty, but again, nothing super, super unusual. Now, these are unusual, the mascaras. There's that lovely green, it's called Aquamarine Dream. And then you've got Ultraviolet Blue and then Pink Mystique. I think that those lashes look amazing, but that is not something I would wear, but very, very fun. If you're looking for some fun mascaras, those look really interesting. But for me, I would not purchase those, so those would not make the edit. So the only things I would be seriously considering are the muted blush palette and then the one single blush. That looks really gorgeous. But so far, nothing for sure makes the edit with the Pat McGrath, but let me know. Let me know if you are interested in seeing me talk about these, review these products. I'd be happy to try at least one of the blushes out. Okay, Allison warned me this might be a really long video based on our list, and I think she's right because my battery already died. I had to change it out just now. I did want to mention the BYREDO lip products. They are called the BYREDO Liquid Lipstick Vinyls because Lucia Pica, who is formerly of Chanel, has come out with her first products with BYREDO. So I picked those up. That video is coming soon. I have some thoughts about them, but I just wanted to mention I did pick those up. Those made the edit. That's an example of something that's innovative and new that I wanted to try out so I could get a reference point and let you know my thoughts on if it is something unusual or unique out there. So make sure to come back if you're interested in those products. Let's move on to CLE De Peau. I always look at their holiday collection, but I don't pick anything up. Wait, just kidding. I picked up, I think, the lip and the cheek from one of the collections. It was like a cream blush, but their eyeshadows in their holiday collections don't capture my attention. I just look at them and wonder, how would I wear that? So this one has a champagne, like a warm pink color, and then a burgundy, almost plummy color, and then this mint shade. And I saw the examples of how they applied it, and I really don't see myself using this, which is why I would pass on this. So this does not make the edit. Yeah, I like how they use the green under the eye, but not something I would wear. Then we've got the limited edition lipstick mattes, and those shades look pretty. We've got Stellar Red, and then there's also Heavenly Peach. Nothing super unique, although I do like the Stellar Red, but it looks more like a rosy shade than a red. And then we've got the limited edition lipsticks. We've got Cosmic Red, which again does not look red. It looks more like a peach actually. And then we've got this other lipstick, which I know I will not pick up because it's too cool for me. This is in the shade Starlight Pink. So I would pass on those. Those do not make the edit. We've got the limited edition lipstick mini set. Those are always fun if you want to gift them and break up the set, because that's a really pretty gift to give to people. But I can't say I love all the shades. I have to love all the shades in a set to pick it up. I think I like mostly the one on the end, which is like Rosewood shade. I like that one, but not enough to buy the whole set. But it is a good savings in case you really, really love CLE De Peau lipsticks. We do have something though that interests me. It's not makeup, it's the Supreme Results Brightening Collection. It has the brightening product that I use, which is $330, I believe, and this is $330. So with a brightening product, you also get a mask. It diminishes dullness and increases radiance. So I would recommend this in case you ever wanted to try the brightening product that I use, because it's really a good one. It's the Brightening Serum Supreme. It says it visibly reduces the look of dark spots in just 2 weeks. And I have seen improvement with my skin in addition to all the other things that I use on my skin, but that's a really nice one that I would recommend. Then we've got this 40th Anniversary Radiant Sky collection by CLE De Peau. And I wanted to mention this because it's the most luxurious beauty product I've seen. So the La Creme, it says it is a luxurious collection in collaboration with renowned Parisian jewelry designer Elie Top. The packaging is luxuriously forged in gold and silver and studded with diamonds. So the La Creme is almost 13,000 pounds, which is something you have to really love to purchase it. This was not making the edit. And then you also have a lipstick set, which is almost 4,800 pounds. So I just wanted to show this to you because I thought it was really exquisite, beautiful. You have to really love CLE De Peau to purchase this. Let me know if you love CLE De Peau that much. But I think the lipstick shades look really pretty. The ones that I'm looking at looks like there's a soft satiny pearlescent finish almost to the lipsticks. Definitely a way to celebrate the 40th anniversary. And that is it for the very first Making the Edit. So you can see the Chanel products definitely made the edit. Couple of Dior products I'm considering, as well as Pat McGrath. But with as many things that are coming out there, I still am whittling it down to a quite edited list. But again, let me know what you would like to see, if there's something in there that was interesting to you or innovative that you'd like me to try and compare with some of the other products you know I have. Please let me know. I'll definitely take a second look. And thank you to Weijie. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. I'll leave her information below. Thank you to Allison Chase for helping me navigate through this process and get me started on this. It's a really fun video. But thank you so much for joining me for my very first Making the Edit. I hope I did an okay job. It was fun to look at all of the new releases, and let me know if I missed something. What did I miss? What should I be considering? Please let me know in the comment section below and what you're most interested in. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.